Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome to this series of interviews to post Gathering 2024. Today, I have the pleasure to have one of my biggest friends, in all sense, Maurício Umann, founder of Fractal Regenerative Technologies. That is a design company providing regenerative land design, architecture, and much more. So, I would love to start in a very, very, very short sentence, Maurício. What is this much more that Fractal, you say, does?
Well, we are somehow developing a network of people that can support any type of regenerative project, coming from land design, the topography via drone. We have starting to make a filmmaking crew, storytellers, fundraisers. So there are many, many different aspects of what you're doing now, and also starting to doing architecture and also architecture visualizations.
Wow,
Uh,
amazing.
and there are many other things coming up, probably even two apps to support farms, regenerative farms to make their management, and another one for bioregional
Okay, so if,
connection.
if you allowed me to rephrase it in one sentence, I would say you make dreams coming true.
Exactly. I'm a kind of a dream weaver,
All
apart
right.
of all of the other things that we do with our team. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So, now starting the interview questions, I would love to know how did the gathering impact your work as well organization? Meaning, did it lead to new projects or partnerships?
Hmm. Yeah. Before the gathering, I was working alone in my computer in my office, very low profile somehow, in a way that I was working just with a word of mouth and getting projects here and there. Um, and I decided that the gathering will be the place where I'm going to launch the company, launch Fractal. And that was exactly our goal there. And it was amazing. So launching the company and the whole feeling of the company and bringing the team together to that space, that was a very generous space in all senses. It was fundamental for the company to be launched and to start on having different connections and different perspectives on work, and also somehow becoming very visible in the ecosystem. And yes, this moment, Fractal is exploding, and thanks to the gathering presence, we have at least one, two, three, maybe four projects coming in through the gathering. So in January, we closed more projects than the last 2 years. And also thanks to the gathering, and for sure thanks to the team that we are building up. It was amazing.
All right, all right. So,
So it is impacting, and it's going to be still impacting for the second year, because this launching of Fractal was the second time that been to the gathering, because we've been to the first one personally only. And there it was already very good. This time it was incredible. It was very, very, very inspiring and very beautiful and very successful, I would say.
all right, so team building, introduction to Frato to the market. I cannot help myself to say it. That was part of the team, so people at least they know about it. As well, founder of ECCOS channel, that you actually inspired me a lot to really launch it. And yes, that is great, amazing to know, and even better to know that the gathering was like the this kind of the beginning of everything. It was great. And I believe everybody who
Thank
went to the gathering would say your place was amazing or our place, yeah, was really, really great. Now, I would love to know that what connection did you make? Like any stories you want to share?
So connections. There were many different types of connections we did, very inspiring ones, very personal ones. I reconnected with people that I was not somehow uh, mingling for quite a while. I made like particularly professional connections, and I made personal connections that are leading also for the increase of the team. So that the whole setting, including the only smoking corner, would allow many people to just sit together and get to know each other. From the gathering, I would say that probably new connections around 30 to 50, and increasing the connections that we had and actually fractalizing the connections for action. That is what we are doing there. I think 20 to 30 more. So I can say that it was a very, very beautiful setting for the connections, and they are already bringing fruits. They're already bringing projects, and they're already bringing perspectives, because the people that we met there somehow are becoming part of Fractal team, from the film crew to the organization and project management to the people that is going to bring more projects to. It was a pure connection. It was beautiful.
So good to know, so good to know as well, may somehow helping you and make part of the this happening, this story. That's actually the gathering. It was a gathering. And yes, the smoking area was on fire for sure.
No, not the smoking area, the only smoking area.
The only, and a beautiful one in the end, huh? We quite handle it. Great, great, great to know.
Yeah,
So,
so you asked me if I want to share the story. I share a story about the only, because that was the only. So I had this plank and I have to write a name. I was searching for planks in the previous day with Victor, like 11 at night, in a truck that actually, got completely burned when we were taking the planks around, and someone had to take the truck from a cross in between roads. That was crazy. But we got the planks, and the next day I say, okay, this is going to be the only. And yes, this is the only. Okay, so I'm going to call it the only. And I painted this the only smoking corner.
that's so great to know. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Well done, Mauricio. Well done. And as you know, the gathering aims to build a regenerative ecosystem of collaboration. And the questions are, do you think it's a seed? What could be improved in your opinion?
I think the gathering is much more than this, but it is also this. For many people, there is before gathering and after gathering, and I've been in connection with these people from Portugal and also from other people that I actually moved into Portugal after the gathering. This network, this ecosystem for action, it's happening a lot, and I don't think that is happening only with me and with Fractal, but also with many different people that is connected to Fractal, is also connected to other people that they met also in the gathering. So it made this connection for action happen, and I think this is very inspiring. But the gathering was, for most of us, much more than that. It was a place where we could first find inspiration and get to know much better the ecosystem, and at the same time was a place where we really felt that we are doing the work that has to be done, and it's in joy and it's pure and it's truth. And what could be improved? I would say the way that the program and the locations of the program
Mhm.
were based and were somehow set. So we had, and it's about program, huh? It's just about place and thing being organized in a different way that we don't bother each other. And as there was a very co-creative space, sometimes I was starting to do a drum circle and someone called me, hey, please don't do that because you are just making a relaxation 10 meters from you. And then, no way, Mauricio, don't do it because you are starting a set in the main stage that is going to be very chilled. And I'm going to be dancing with a very chilled music. And then most of the time we were okay with that. but in the long run, that will not work for sure. So organizing, spacing, and program would be key for a much more successful space. And also will allow that people go to different places at different times in a different way. It will be much, much easier in a program that we have at least a main frame for the product, for the project, for the program, sorry, and people know what is going to happen in each one of the places. Otherwise, it was a little bit too much flow in my view. And also that is a little bit of my responsibility because I was also part of the gathering team, and I would be supporting the regenerative design for the whole end, but it came into a place where I was not available, so I could not actually support on that. Hopefully, next year we're going to have the information about the land and the program much earlier, so I can really look at it as a designer and look at it in a regenerative way. So this will not happen at all because that I think it was the main mistake. And people were sleeping nearby loud music until late. So there are many things that could be improved for sure. But that is the beauty of it as well, right? We are just growing an ecosystem, and this ecosystem also has to grow with us.
Yeah.
I think it's just these the main aspects that I would really suggest that we change is program and placement of program.
Yeah, I personally I feel the gathering this amazing kid of 2 years, 2 editions. So it's growing. I would say like an avatar, it's going to grow quite fast, not in a human scale, but for sure. So resuming your opinion is connections, a lot of inspiration, and definitely a better land design, meaning like the programs as well, people, location, and settlings. Yeah, I would say that. Personally, I felt a little bit about the settling when you go at night. You really want to rest, especially if you like providing help to a person so dynamic like you are. I went to the tent many nights, very tired, as well happy, of course. So now we know what could be better. I ask you now in a very special way, what went well? What really you talk about inspiration? Can you share something that really went well in general as well, like particularly if you want?
I think that the whole gathering went very well. It was much better than the first one. The first one was really woohoo, fall into this completely, not exactly unorganized, but you could see that, okay, there's many things to be addressed here. And this time it was much better. The land was beautiful. That was a very good choice of a land. Um, what went well mostly was the energy in between all the people that was there. So you were really somehow creating a culture for the gathering, and that was very beautiful to be part of, being creating this culture from the way we relate to each other, from the way we talk to each other, from the drum circle of Fractal that is part of the culture of the gathering right now. We're going to always to be doing a drum circle there. That went very well. And in terms of connections in between people, in the inspiration that I could get from many different conversations I had, it was great. What could be done better? Again, probably me not overbooking my day, so I could have much more space to go around and to sit with people if they don't also overbook their program. And that is a very important learning for me. So overbooking in the gathering is not good. Even I had created space in between the things. It was not easy. I was like a very busy bee in the whole gathering. My only moments to sit and talk it was when I was smoking. But now I don't smoke, so that's going to be a problem.
So now you have more time and space.
I have more time, but I don't have this smoking corner.
You can go there. It's for
Yeah.
all. Maybe it was
whiskey.
one of the most open-minded places because the ones who smoke could go as well, the ones who didn't. So good to know. So yes, just resuming again. Okay, a lot of connections as well, inspirations, like we said. That's a big part. The place was amazing. I fully agree with you. It was so beautiful. And yes, the drum circles, I believe, man, that's your call. That's your circle, and it's gonna be like iconic, I would say. It was. And it was on my feeling, I believe in everybody feeling, it was like this kind of a gathering moment, so strong. You know,
Yeah. For
we could
me,
feel.
always seeing all the people really coming to the gathering and actually arriving to that circle that was the central of Fractal Camp. And after 10, 15 minutes, Brian and me and the other people and Marco, many things coming to joy and play. And the energy racing, for me, it was one of the highest points for the gathering. And all that dust and people like, woo, that was really, really beautiful. And I'm going to let already an invitation for the next gathering. Fractal Camp, we want to have 100 drums in
Yeah.
the next gathering of tribes. So get prepared, start on training because you want to really make a lot of noise and a lot of music and a lot of dancing together.
Okay,
100
okay.
drums. Next gathering of tribes, 100 drums.
Okay, so everybody bring your drum next time. And that's amazing, man. And yes, thank you to be like this kind of a drum. You really put the pace on it and you kind of define your presence. Thank you again for everything, my friend. And now going a little bit more personally, what does your project need? Meaning like how can the gathering support you somehow? What could be the next steps?
The next step for me and the best support the gathering could do is to keep on existing and keeping on manifesting itself, not only in Portugal, but in other places. I would be really, really happy if it could really go to Mexico because I understood that it's already being set up for Mexico. And for any other location that is needed, I would be really, really happy to be there with my team and supporting this country and this region and mostly the bioregional area to become regenerative. And this is our aim also in Fractal is to become bioregional. So the gathering just by existing and us as Fractal team being able to attend these gatherings, that is the only thing I need from the gathering right now. Let's just keep on rocking.
Okay, man. I'm so glad I'm part of the team. So now really getting nearby the end. And thank you, man. Thank you for the consideration. And just to know, for the moment, at least here in Portugal, the gathering happens every 2 years. So I think that's something coming on. The kid is going to grow up maybe 1 year in Portugal, 1 year around the world, having Portugal as our base. So the question is, what could be done in between gatherings? Okay, an international edition plus a national edition, Portugal based for sure. But I would say more like projects, workshops, whatever. What ideas do you have that we as a team, meaning a tribe, all the ecosystem could be done in between?
So one of the persons that I met in the gathering, it was Nadia. Nadia from Freedomville, Portugal, one
Yeah.
of the projects that we are just starting to make. So last week I've been there and we have just launched the project together. We're going to be 1 year working together. One of Nadia's ideas is how can Freedomville support the in-betweens of the gardening. Okay, so we don't know exactly what is the format. We have already started to talk with Victor. We want to schedule for the next month a gathering there with Victor and maybe with Audrey as well, and with the rest of the team of the gathering. So we can start on somehow planning and trying to think what could be done that could improve the continuation of the gathering when the gathering is not on, I would say. For me, if you think about a long-term vision, ideally we should be able to have one tool of communication that is not WhatsApp or Telegram group, one tool of communication that you're going to keep on interacting to each other as we were in the gathering, but virtually. And this, for now, is just the Telegram group, but I don't know. I don't go to Telegram, so I don't know what's happening there. Um, that is something that would help a lot for us to keep on connecting and keep on creating the opportunities, because each one of us that were there, now the things are moving, but we don't know where the others are. You know,
Yeah.
just with the people that I'm connecting deeply, and you don't know where they are. So having it visible to understand the ecosystem working, and something that is going to be inviting, maybe an app, maybe a website, I don't know. I have no idea how to do it. I have to think about it deeply. But having a tool where we could gather again sometimes, or maybe even 3 months big call with the people that is interesting to make it. Small gatherings, maybe regional gatherings, maybe national gatherings only with the people is there once if each 6 months, no
Yeah, yeah,
problem. But
yeah.
we keep on having, it's somehow bringing up people together, the ones that are available for that, locally, regionally, and ideally, when the things grow, bioregionally. So the
Mhm.
gathering could be, for me, one of the many necessary tools to develop bioregionalism. That is something that Fractal is really focusing on right now. We're starting to work also with Spain in that. We're starting to create programs that are going to be transnational as well. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be with my team in Barcelona designing one project that is Creative Europe, and this is going to gather other people that I also met in the gathering in
Okay.
5 different countries.
Okay.
So this is what we need to do. So using the in-betweens to keep on connecting and mostly creating human bonds. And this human bond creation is what is going to make us really connect for action together and make things happen in a much more intensive and much more impactful way. Only when
Amazing.
you really, this is a learning that it's super clear for me. Only when you create these human bonds, we are able to move mountains together. And
Cool.
that will be my ideal set, is that we can keep on gathering with people, not only during these 5 beautiful days, but also the in-betweens.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing this from my part and from the people that I met there, but something more organized and more visible. I would say visibility would give us much more inspiration as well. So to be
Great.
inspiring each other as well.
And there's comments about, like Victor comment already. I saw it in an interview, maybe 7 days gonna be the next goal. If for sure, I agree. Like going virtual in our days, it's so somehow ecological and make things happen in a way that it's so possible. So maybe like this kind of a website platform gonna be the future, one of the many next steps for sure the organization is thinking about. So Mauricio, now I just would love to really, really thank you for all the time and the sharing and the inspiration you always bring in our conversations. It was really amazing to have this talk with you. And for sure, we're gonna see each other soon in any kind of a beautiful situation or project. My friend, thank you for everything. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing.
Thank you, Guilherme, and I'm super thankful to have this opportunity with you and seeing the ECCOS channel coming up. And I am super keen also to support in everything you need personally. And for sure, I am here to be part of the gathering team forever.
This is
Fractal
well,
is
as well,
gathering already. And
as
don't
well,
forget the drums next time. Don't forget the
and
drums.
as well, Echoes. And thank you all at the gathering
Thank
for
you.
make all this happening. Okay, my friend, see you in the next time.
See
All
you.
good. All the projects going good for sure. And let's keep in touch.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
There's that.
see you guys.